Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 2 of The Tale of the Trail, our bi-monthly update on what is happening in the Asia Trailmaster community. We have named this episode A Glimmer of Hope, referring to the outcome of our broadcast 2 weeks ago, when the event directors of both Dalat Ultra Trail in Vietnam and Korea 50K in South Korea said on the show that their events are still on as scheduled, for the last 2 weekends of June, that is. Now we are 2 more weeks down the road, and we will be hearing back from Sammy and Jay in a minute about the latest news concerning their respective events. The most critical question for many international runners among you, of course, being, will the borders be open by then? In the next 40 to 45 minutes, we will also be bringing on the event directors of 2 more races scheduled in August. Alvan Impriyadi of Ijen Trail in Banyuwangi, East Java, Indonesia, and Klaus Pedersen of Borneo TMBT Ultra in Sabah, Malaysia. Both event directors will update us on what to expect of their respective events. It's still a good 3 months away from today, but still. We will also chat with Julie Vo, lifestyle expert for Southern Vietnam and amateur runner herself, as well as with Christian Jurgensen, the amazing winner of last year's ATM final in Taiping, and who only very recently went back from his current home Manila in the Philippines to his native country Denmark. From Singapore, Amy Kaur will be joining us on the show, and last but not least, we will check how Isaac Yuen Wan Ho has been doing in recent years. Isaac was our mystery guest for this episode of The Tale of the Trail, and he was also one of the protagonist runners in the 2016 and 2017 Asia Trailmaster Championship. All that being said, let's raise the curtain and bring on Sammy Vu of Dalat Ultra Trail first. I would also like to mention at this stage that Jay Zhang at the moment is still stuck in a traffic jam, and she may come onto the show a little bit later than expected, but we keep you posted on that. But in the meantime, we go first to Dalat Ultra Trail. The event was scheduled for 19th of 20th of June, and 2 weeks ago there was very good news coming from Dalat, from Sammy Vu, saying that the event would still take place as scheduled. Here's Sammy. Sammy, hello.
Hi,
How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Not too bad, not too bad. Life in Belgium is easing more and more. So how about life in Vietnam? Is it still as good as it was 2 weeks ago?
Yes. Last week we already back to work normally, and everything is slowly come back to normal. So we hope that by the time we have the Ultra Trail event, everything will be back as normal as we are before.
Yeah. Do you have any important news for all the participants who have signed up for Dalat Ultra Trail? In particular, is there any news about the country border Vietnam? Is there any expectation when it will be open again?
Until now, we don't have any news from the government regarding about the international border for the whole country. Recently, the flight for the domestic flight from province to province in Vietnam, they have been open, and the flight every day is increasing. So we hopefully that by that time, the international border will be open, but there will be a risk that the international border is still closed by that time, but we still have the backup plan, and we still with the international racer, and then we will find out the way how we can stand with all of you. If you cannot join by this year, then all your race will be deferred to next year free, and then we will save everything for you by the next race. This is very we cannot confirm anything regarding about the government decision, and we respect the government decision on that. But we hopefully that by the time we open the event, the international border already open, and then we can welcome everyone from region and also international to come and join with us as the last 2 years.
Do the people in Dalat, the local people, consider it still a very sensitive matter that maybe a lot of people from other countries will come to Dalat?
This morning we have a meeting with the local government to present about our plan for how we can prevent the pandemic to spread out. and we have to do some of the protocol before you can come to the expo or come to the start line. For example, you have to wash your hand, you have to wear the mask when you are in the expo, or you have to keep the distance with the other people in the expo, and then we try to minimize the people to gathering at the Reikis pickup corner during the expo time. So we will have a very detailed protocol to post on our website, and also we will send all the information to your email regarding about any update for upcoming days.
You mentioned special protocol. I think that will also apply for the aid stations, the drinking stations. Do you have
Yeah,
anything in mind there?
for the checkpoint drinking station during the race course, we will have also specific protocol. Like last year, we already provide in each race kit of the race with a cup. Uh, the owner runner have to use their own cup to drink the water at the water station, and we not encourage the people to using the cup of other people. We still have the backup cup, but we not recommend the people to use that one, and bring the cup that provided by the race organizer by us, because it will be included in every single race kit of all the runner.
Okay. All the drinking stations will still be there. So it's not like the event is becoming more self-sufficient. All the aid stations are still there as planned.
All the station will be there, and then we still keep the plan as before, but we have to be careful with all the water, all the way that we serving the water at the water station to keep safe for everyone. And at that time, we have to be very we have to be very careful, and we ask all the runner to help and support us to using their own cup to drink the water at the water station.
What about after the event at the finish line? Will people be allowed to stay there at the event arena, or will there be a procedure in place to maybe bring people back to their hotel quicker than normal?
Actually, we still allow the government still allow us to welcome everyone to come back and stay at the finish line. But we will have a protocol, like when the people eat in too much and they risk, then we will ask the people to leave, or maybe to keep the distance with each other people. But we try to put a lot of like hand sanitization station, hand wash station, and also we also have the full body um, spray station, so that people before people coming into the festival area or into the finish line festival area, people can be safe before entering to that. Yeah. So we
Okay.
try to put a lot of like protocol for people to be safe during attending our event, and we hopefully that everyone will understand why we need to do that during this season.
Absolutely, yeah. After our first Tale of the Trail episode 2 weeks ago, there were quite a lot of runners who asked me, or let's say asked Asia Trail Master viral channels, how can they still sign up for the Lat Ultra Trail?
Yeah, we would like to welcome all everyone to join us in this event, but right now we only have the free slot for the partner and sponsor. So the sponsor, they will have the activity for people to gain the to win the ticket to join us. So there is a last chance, like a few ticket, like 10 or 20
Okay.
among the sponsor that people can get the ticket and join with us. So maybe, for example, you can visit the Tailwind Vietnam Nutrition Partner, our official nutrition partner Facebook fan page, and then people can join the challenge there and win a ticket from the sponsor. And yeah, that the thing that you can get the ticket to join with us. And if next year you still interested with our race, please sign up as soon as possible, because we cannot sure that how long the ticket can be sustained and
Absolutely.
available for you. Yeah,
Yeah,
we are sorry
exactly.
for that, but yeah, the space is limited, and we hopefully that we can we can keep the quality of the event, so that we keep the space limited to
Exactly.
everyone. Yeah.
Yeah. Of course, we also still have a few Asia Trailmaster spots that were assigned to us. So that's
Yeah.
also maybe still an opportunity for some runners if they can
Yeah.
still
Yeah.
join the event next month
Yep.
in Dalat. Okay, thank you very much, Sammy, for this update on the Dalat Ultra Trail. So the event is still taking place as planned, so
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah.
We're all very much looking forward to that.
Yeah. Sure.
Thank you very much, Sammy, for the update.
Thank you.
All right, that was Sammy Vu of Dalat Ultra Trail, and we stay in Dalat, and we will have a quick chat now with Julie Vo, who is coming onto the screen now. Hello, Julie. How is life for you in Ho Chi Minh City, I believe, right?
Yeah, it's great. I'm happy to hear that Dalat Ultra Trail is taking place next month, and I'm in a program to training for the race next month.
Exactly. Julie, I have announced you, and of course, you're always also known already a little bit as a lifestyle consultant and event speaker living in Vietnam, in Ho Chi Minh City. You did the Dalat Ultra Trail last year, I believe, and it was your first race, correct?
Yes, Dalat Ultra Trail last year was my first full trail marathon. So it was quite a good memory for me.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited that I can come back to Dalat and enjoy the Dalat Ultra Trail again. And you know, for the last few months, the COVID-19 situation is very serious, and many runners cannot attend the race. And now, when the Dalat Ultra Trail can be taking place again, and I'm very excited.
Absolutely. Julie, what can you recommend for all the runners and the people who will visit Dalat for the first time?
Oh, well, not only for the race, but also many Dalat is a very fantastic destination for visitor. For example, so when every time you go to Dalat, I will feel it's very special because not only of the weather, the nice weather, because Ho Chi Minh City is always hot and Dallas is cooler, and we also Dalat also have a lot of very beautiful attraction and very good food for people to enjoy.
Can you give an example of the food? Can you give an example of this special food?
Yes, so in Dalat, people must try the hot pot because of the cold weather at night. For the dinner, people should go for the hot pot. Very famous hot pot in Dalat is a chicken hot pot or beef hot pot or artichoke flour hot pot. All very delicious and a must-try food. Yeah.
Is the
And
hot pot in Dalat spicy, like in China, for example?
no, it's not
Not
spices.
spicy.
Yeah, so people can add more chili or spice into the dish if they wish to have more spices. So it's a very tasty and local flavor. Local flavor, yeah. So and not only hot pot but also street food. There are variety of street food in Dalat. So if your first time in Dalat, you must try the Vietnamese pizza. The Vietnamese pizza is the rice powder paper, and they put the dry shrimp, onion, meat, and eggs, and many things. So you can enjoy the local Vietnamese pizza in Dallas, very famous there. And
I'm already hungry now.
So street food also have a spicy beef noodle, or this is one of the special street food in Vietnam is a wet dry case with the chicken.
Okay.
So eat with the soy sauce. I think it's quite strange. It's quite new to Western people, but for Vietnamese, we like soy sauce. So this is one of the special of Đà Lạt, and you can. If you can come to Đà Lạt or any runner come to Đà Lạt this time, you should try this the wet rice cake with chicken.
Okay, I think that sounds
so
great.
you want more food now?
Well, I'm getting hungry. It's noon here in Belgium where I am, and I know that in some countries they now want to have dinner. Đà Lạt is also known for two other things, right, in the same culinary context, and one is coffee, right, the Central Highlands coffee of Vietnam, and second is the wine. You also produce wine, and Julie is also a bit of a wine expert, I believe. So can you tell us a little bit more about the wine in Đà Lạt, just briefly?
Yes, so Vietnam is a tropical country, and is most of the country is hot in hot weather. But Đà Lạt is different. Đà Lạt is in the highland, and the weather is more cool, and can grow the grapes, and famous for the Đà Lạt wine. So if we go to Đà Lạt and want to try some wine, some good wine, and enjoy some international dish, I have some recommendation. The first one is the Boti Bistro, and the second one is Biang Bistro. Not only of the food and the good wine, but also because of its stunning view for the dinner.
All right, a beautiful view there. Yeah.
Of course, in the morning after breakfast, everybody should enjoy some coffee. And the special of Vietnam is the condensed milk coffee.
Condensed milk coffee.
Yes.
Okay. All right. That sounds all very nice, Julie. Thank you very much for your contribution to the show, Tale of the Trail. Will you be running as well next month in Đà Lạt?
Yes, I can't wait to the Đà Lạt Ultra Trail next month, and I'm in a training program now. So I hope I will have another good experience at Đà Lạt Ultra Trail next month.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you very much, Julie. We hope to see you in Đà Lạt next month. And maybe one more thing, if any runners coming from outside of Đà Lạt wish to contact you for more tips about what they can eat, what they can drink, what they can go and see, how can they contact you best? Facebook or?
Yes, sure. Everyone can contact me on my Facebook, Ngọc Anh Hoàng Võ or Julie Võ. So I'm happy to share with the runners more attraction or must see or must eat, something that you can enjoy in Đà Lạt when you go for Đà Lạt Ultra Trail.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Julie, and see you next month, hopefully in Đà Lạt.
Okay, thank you, Chris. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
That was Julie Vo, who gave us a few more tips about non-running related aspects of trail event, and in this case, the Đà Lạt Ultra Trail. We move on to Amy Kaur from Singapore. She's based in Singapore. Of course, one of our favorite interviewers and contributors to the Asia Trail Master live streams. Hello, Amy. Yes, can hear you loud and clear.
Hi.
How are you doing in Singapore, Amy?
Okay, everything is good here. We are still having this circuit breaker at the moment, and we'll be back to the workforce by the 2nd of June, actually.
2nd of June. Okay,
Yeah.
That's good. Have you been able to do some training still in Singapore?
Yeah, every day. I'm still running every day because the government actually still encourage us to run, but still we have to take care of the social distancing measures. So we still have to exercise within our neighborhood compound and not going too far.
Yeah. Okay. Amy, one of the reasons why we brought you on this show today is, of course, also you went to the last race that was connected with Asia Trail Master, was the candidate race BUTM in Sabah, Malaysia.
That's right, yeah.
At that time, 2 months ago, a little bit more than 2 months ago, I think, would you have expected something like this to happen? That, like, for example, 2 months later, even Cameron Ultra, scheduled for the end of July, is already cancelled?
Well, at that time when I actually reached Sabah, it was quite a shock because we didn't expect that. It was like quite immediate that we had news that it's going to be quarantine measures coming up. And at that time, BUTM, I think they did a very good way to actually exercise a lot of hand sanitizing and temperature check at the race pack and also before the race start, which I think is very good. So moving down, I didn't expect that this virus could be so viral, and then things starts to go unpredictable. And till now, this situation seems uncontrollable.
Yeah, it is. It's becoming a problem for a lot of events all over the world. We will be talking now to Klaus Pedersen as well from TMBT, who is also, of course, the organizer of BUTM. I will be bringing him on right now. There's Klaus. Klaus, hello.
Hi, Klaus.
Hi, Chris. Hi, Amy.
Hi.
Hi. Klaus, tell us, how is life in Sabah for you now?
Oh, it's been a little bit tied down for a couple of months. As Amy just said, BUTM was a bit of an experience because leading up to the event, there was no cases in Sabah, but just the last few days leading up to the event, everything kind of turned to the worst here, and everything started to close down. So that was I think I can say a walk on a knife's edge to run the BUTM at that time. But that was 2 months ago, and since then it's pretty much been locked down, and it's only the last few days that it's actually started to open up in Sabah, so you can go out and go for a jog. Until now, it's been discouraged, and to the stage that people who've been out jogging on a bike, they actually told to get back in and stay indoor, and so that's not been very encouraging for the whole community. I think. I mean, it's.
So we understand that KK is going to reopen again this weekend. Am I right?
It has actually reopened, so now we are allowed to go out, and just the last few days here, it's changed a lot. Yeah, it's gone from when you got out before there was hardly a car on the road, and now we have traffic jams because everyone wants to go out and see the world outside, and it's still there. Even for the BUTM, these few days now, we actually out collecting all our gear because it literally was locked down 2 days after the event, and we had to leave most of our equipment, our water tanks and all these things we set up for the race out there. So that's only these few days now that we're out collecting all the gear.
Right. So how about TMBT, which is supposed to schedule in August, right? So last week of August,
Yes.
is there changes they were expecting?
No, not August. So we've kind of kept it open and told people that because a lot of people had already registered between 500 and 600. So we said we'll keep it open for now and see what is going to happen. But we have now discussed amongst us, and in 3 months, it's definitely not going to be possible. So we decided rather than cancel it to actually move it to the end of the year, 1920, if I remember correctly, December. And I will let Chris maybe talk more about that, but we've been discussing with him about that as well. So that opens some good opportunities in that respect. I mean, of course, we are still uncertain whether we will be able to actually hold the event even end of December, because certainly it is at the moment, it would be totally impossible. So will it be safe, first of all? I mean, that's the first concern. Safe both for participants, our volunteers, everyone in the local societies. Regulatory framework will be allowed to do it. We don't know. At the moment, we are maximum, I think, allowed to be 10 or 20 people together, so that wouldn't be a very big race. Or at least it would have to be over a very long time if we had to get 2,000 people through. And I think the other key aspect is also what do the local communities say to it, because we pass through more than 30 villages on the TMBT. and we normally work very closely together with them, involve them in the race. But a lot of these villages, some of them are quite remote, have actually, basically, in addition to the what the government says, they have done their own and set up barricades so they don't allow foreigners into their local communities. We've been in contact with some of them, and they say, well, if there's no coronavirus by that time, no problem. But I mean, I'm pretty sure there will be coronavirus around by end of the year as well, no matter how optimistic we want to be. But it's more, is there a manageable way where we can get around the risks so that everyone feels it's safe and it's doable? So we hope for the best.
Yeah, Klaus, so 19-20 December, as you mentioned, is actually a special weekend, but you can make the announcement yourself, no worries.
Okay, I was going to leave it to you, yeah. So we've been talking to Chris, and that could then make the TMBT the ATM season finale, which would be very exciting. In addition to of course, it's the 10th anniversary of TMBT, so
yeah, that's
God
correct.
willing, and if everything allows, we hope that we will be able to have quite a nice event with those two key aspects: the 10th anniversary and being the ATM season finale, and hopefully being able to attract some of the top runners from the ATM as well. Which of course leads back to how will travel restrictions or quarantine rules be at that time. We also won't know, but
of course, that's very clear.
We will hope for the best and see how it goes.
Exactly. Amy, I think it's been a good decision, right, to have TMBT as the final for now?
Definitely, for sure, because TMBT has been the oldest ultra trail marathon in Malaysia, and everyone is looking forward to that. I've been to TMBT myself, so it's really awesome. The views and sceneries and people, the villages are really so warm, and they are really nice people. So
exactly, and that's a big component for us also, that we can still work with the villages because we see that as one of the key attractions in addition to, say, the Mount Kinabalu and the views, but coming through those remote villages, and they're out there with their gongs, they hand out, whatever local produce they have also, I think is definitely some of the feedback we get from runners that's what also makes the TMBT exciting.
Right. So given that if it's going to happen in December, so is there any precautionary or safety measures that you'll be looking to implement besides the hand sanitizing, like what we did in UTM, and also temperature checks? Would you have any special things for social distancing at aid stations, start-finish line?
There could be a lot of changes potentially, but that's something we will work on going forward. Also, depending on how it evolves. We don't know how many people, for instance, they're allowed to be in a gathering at that time. So we might have to have staggered starts. You can only do that to a certain extent before the event kind of fizzles out. So that's the other criteria for us, that the event can still be conducted in a format that is, kind of pays tribute to the TMBT. If it becomes something where there are just too many restrictions and it basically can't be done as a big race, then it's probably better to postpone it till next year again. But again, there's something we look forward to. But we are already thinking about a lot of things. So, for instance, the race pack collection, if that is a problem, I mean, we can certainly stage that over more days, or we might even just send the race packs out to competitors so they don't have to have a race pack collection as such.
Right.
Many things can be done, but we can't. And if there are a few of the villages that are not comfortable us passing through, we might be able to go around them and change the route a little bit. But if there's just too many that are not comfortable, then we probably wouldn't be able to hold it in a format that we would like the TMBT to be.
Of course. So say if this is going to postpone to December, how about the overseas participants who cannot make it, or because of probably the flight restrictions, the quarantine measures? How would you guys actually will do for the policies for them? Would you get a refund or defer them or things like that?
We will give it the options. So first of all, now we give the option. Do you want to still stay on board with us with your registration and hope for December? or people can choose to get a refund at this date that they want. And if we then get to December and we either have to cancel or defer further, then it'll be the same thing. People can choose to either defer to next year, which could then be the BUTM or the TMBT, or they'll get a refund. Yeah.
Right.
One question, Klaus, will it still be possible for late registrations at this stage? Now that it has become the ATM final, maybe some people might be keen to still join the event.
I mean, it's still open for registration. Of course, we have not done any marketing or tried to encourage people because we simply don't know at this stage. But this is kind of the first announcement. So after this, we will change the dates and also the policies and everything will be updated on the website and social media. But yes, it's certainly still possible to register. Of course, we, as far as possible, want all registrations in, well in advance of the race, so that we can plan the bips and all these things. Not only the bips, but the timing tips and all those things. Mm-hmm. But working with ATM and the elite runners, we can work out something for the elite runners for late registrations beyond that as well.
All right, that sounds great, Klaus. So TMBT has been postponed to the end of December, 19th, 20th December to be exact, and it's now the Asia Trail Master Championship final for 2020. So thank you very much, Klaus, for the update, and obviously we will both be communicating a lot more in the coming days about what is all entailed.
Yeah. Definitely, thank you very much. Amy, thanks. Bye.
That was Klaus Pedersen from TMBT. Amy, thank you very much also for your contribution. In the meantime,
good to see you.
Absolutely. We'll see you soon as well.
Okay, see ya.
All right, and in the meantime, I have managed to get Alfan back on screen, so we'll be changing to him now and discuss Aegean trail running. Aegean trail running is scheduled for the middle of August. It was scheduled actually 2 weeks before TMBT. In Malaysia, they have just said that it cannot be held in August. What about your event in Indonesia? What is the situation exactly in East Java? In the news, we always hear about Jakarta. We also hear that in Bali, the situation is quite normal at the moment still. So how is it in East Java? Okay. Yeah, Malang, the host town of Mantra Summits Challenge, which was already cancelled last month. Exactly. So the situation is quite gloomy in East Java, but we will await the decision in the middle of June. In the meantime, Alfan, can you tell us a little bit more about Aegean Trail, the event? Because for this year, you had planned some changes, right? Okay. All right, Alfan, the connection seems to be a little bit shaky. I have one person actually saying that it's difficult to hear you. So we will close this interview a bit shorter than planned. But thank you very much for joining us and giving us the update on Aegean Trail Running. So the event is also on hold at the moment, but not yet cancelled, not yet postponed. The decision will come in the middle of June. Thank you very much, Alfan. And same as for all the others, we hope to see you soon and hear some better news. And in the meantime, stay fine. That's all about the events for this episode. In the meantime, Jae Jung from Korea 50K has texted me that she is hopelessly stuck in traffic jam and she cannot make it to our show today. That's a pity, because of course we would have liked to chat with Jae as well in light of very recent events this week in Seoul, capital city of South Korea, where the infection rate of the COVID-19 has gone up again, which casts some doubt about the event again. So 2 weeks ago, it was all very positive, but right now it is again a wait and see kind of game. And Jae also let me know that there will be a final decision on the event in 2 weeks' time, at the end of May. And of course, we will be keeping you posted here on the Asia Trailmaster Network and social media pages as well. So let's time to chat with some runners maybe at the end of this episode. And the first runner we will bring on the show is Christian Jurgensen. Christian, hello.
Hey, Chris.
A little bit later as we anticipated, but thank you very much for joining us. You're now back in your home country in Copenhagen, in Denmark.
Yeah, that's correct.
But you only came there about 3 weeks ago, if I'm correct. So very late.
Yeah. I think 3 weeks ago we arrived here, just some few days before the airport was shut down.
Okay, that was the main reason then, because people have been wondering if this was like a permanent move, maybe that you were leaving the Philippines and just moving back to Europe altogether.
No, it's not a permanent move. I was just tired of being locked up in the house, and like the lockdown kept being extended, so I thought it's better just to go back to Denmark, where we are able to run a little bit instead of running around the house. So that was a good decision.
Even though, of course, Denmark is pancake flat, right? You're a mountain runner, so it must be quite difficult for you, though.
No, it's okay. I mean, it is flat, but there are some options. We have a power plant where I was training the other day when we talked to each other. So that's basically just like 85 meters high, within 300 meters of length. So that's like a good place where you can get some vert in. And the forest here is really amazing at this time of year. It's really green and lush. So it's good, better than running around the house.
Okay. Christian, you were one of the top favorites for this year's Asia Trailmaster Championship, especially after your incredible win in Taiping last December. You must feel quite disappointed that the plans are falling through, no?
Yeah, but that's life. We can't do much about it. I mean, yeah, it's a pity, but it's the same for all of us. So I don't want to feel bad anymore. I mean, in the start, it was a big blow when the first cancellations came in. But I mean, now it is what it is. So we just have to be strong and hope for some races at the end of the season.
Exactly, because actually there's still quite a few races on our calendar at the end of the season. And as you've just heard, TMBT will become the final, and that's an event that you know very well.
Yeah, that's awesome. I was really happy to hear that. That's like one of the best races I had in Asia. Yeah, so that's really positive to hear. I really hope that's gonna push through in December, right?
Yeah, 19-20 December.
Yeah. Wow, that will be a good one.
Christian, so do you have any idea when you could go back to the Philippines, or when the situation will get better for you?
It's hard to tell. Our ticket is for June 15, but I doubt we'll go back that early because there are still restrictions. It's now, I think in June 15 it will be like general quarantine, and that will basically be the same. You're not allowed to cross borders within other districts. So I think we just have to see what the situation is. So the plan is to go back when, I know it's not going to be open totally, but when I know that I am able to go like to the mountains and do some runs, that's when we will go back.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much, Christian, for your contribution to this episode of Tale of the Trail.
Welcome.
Wish you good luck for the upcoming
you.
weeks, and hopefully, life can return to normal.
Yeah,
And as you mentioned, there's still a lot of races, so who knows? Maybe the Asia Trailmaster title is still an option. Who knows?
yeah, let's see. Otherwise, there's a next year, so yeah, we still have
Exactly.
a lot of years to run in, so no rush.
Exactly. All
Just to
right.
keep myself fit. Okay.
Take
Thank you.
care, Christian.
Okay. Thank you. Bye.
And then at the end of this show, we move to Isaac Yuan-Wan-Ho, who was our mystery guest for this episode. And his identity was guessed after the third clue. Isaac, of course, based in Hong Kong. Isaac?
Hi. Hello. Hello, everyone.
Yeah.
Yep. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes, everything good.
Hello, everyone. For giving me the name Nearly Man. So I like this name. Yeah. Long time no see in the Asia Trail Master platform since I was racing maybe 2 or 3 years ago. So now I'm staying in Hong Kong. So our situation is relatively stable compared to other countries in Europe. But still, there is not much racing or trail running activities, events in our place.
Isaac, as you just mentioned, you were one of our protagonists in the Asia Trailmaster Championship in 2016 and 2017. You finished third in the championship, actually, in 2016. 7 podiums in races and 1 victory. That was in your home backyard, HK 168. But you always said that for you, Asia Trailmaster is a learning experience.
Yes, I do. Yeah, because I think the race in Asia Trailmaster is quite different from where I have experience in Hong Kong. So some area is very remote, and some very unexpected situation will come. So every time I just taking as a experience to get more learning from the trail, how to race wisely, and try to stay close to the podium as possible.
Mm-hmm. What was your best memory of all the Asia Trailmaster races that you did?
There are many, because the tournament actually bring me to many new territories and countries that I never thought I would experience and visit. I think I like the race in Malaysia, especially for the one that no longer exceed the TMNT. I have done 2 times. I never thought the cave is so beautiful, and the people is just welcome the foreigners. The atmosphere is amazing.
Yeah, that's correct. The magnificent Merapo Trail in Malaysia, that was close to the Taman Negara National Park. I think we finished even twice one of the years, just behind Jason Robinson. That was one of your best performances, I would argue.
Yeah. This trail is very runnable. So it's the type of the race that fit to me. And I think it's quite hot, even though they start at the night. But I'm quite okay to run in the hot weather.
Yeah, we remember that as well. Isaac, so basically after the Izu Trail in 2017, you disappeared a little bit from the ATM scene. That was also injury related, I understand. But then you made a move back to road running, but also to open water swimming, right?
Yeah. So basically, after that Japan race, I have 2 serious injury through fracture on my lower leg. So basically, in 2018, I stopped everything. So last year, I started picking up some road marathon. So I did 2 road marathon in December. And initially, my plan is to bring my fitness back to some longer distance. But the virus has come and everything shut down. So I take some time during this period to explore some new interests. So recently I quite fall in love with the open water swimming. So a relatively long distance. So usually I did around 3K up to maybe 8 kilometers, around 2 to 3 hours swimming. So I found there are a lot of quite similar to the trail running, actually, two sports. So both are quite connected to the nature and need to face a lot of uncertainty.
Okay, that's very interesting. And are you planning to become competitive in open water swimming, or are you just doing this as an internet, so to go back to trail? Or?
Because I start learning very late, swimming very late. So I do not have the skills to compete. I just for fun and to explore some place that I never visit near my town.
Yeah. Okay, Isaac, you were the mystery guest. So that was a game that we did the last few days, and your identity was correctly guessed by a runner from Penang in Malaysia. His name is Yuan Tat Lee, and he, of course, has been able to ask you a question. The question that Yuan Tat Lee is asking you is, Isaac, you have a marathon personal best of 2:53, but you already corrected me, has already been changed to 2:46 in the meantime. Yuan Tat Lee says that he has been running for 4 years and more, and he's considered himself to be a road runner. So when it comes to trail running, he's a total newbie, and he doesn't have he hasn't yet acquired the passion for trail running. Can you please give him some pointers and advice on how to transition from the roads to the trails?
I think for him, if he have a very strong running background, though this will be a very good tools for him to go to the trail running, because I think trail running is a lot of elements. So one of the most important is the running economies or efficiency. So once he built a good engine and fitness and some running skills, is very easy to transfer to the mountains or trail running. So I think basically for me, I just put my training form to the trail. So I increase some elevation, so doing some hills repeat or hiking repeats, and extend my this time for the running. So in the road running, usually you just do 1 or 2 hours as maximum, but in trail you may stay in the race for more than 10 hours. So you may need to train a lot longer, and also you have to make sure you are quite familiar with your nutrition, your gear, and how to arrange your support. I think it's more a tactics in the long distance rather than just the fitness level. So trail run is a combination of many skills and knowledge. So if you have a very good fitness background from the marathon running, I think is a very good start for the longer distance.
Okay, thank you very much, Isaac. That's a very elaborative answer to the question from Yuan Tat Lee in Penang, who was the winner of our mystery guest game earlier this week. Isaac, thank you very much for joining us on the show here. Final question. In Hong Kong, we have Lantau 70 on the program at the end of October. Will we see you there?
Probably, yeah. So right now I didn't do a lot of running training, so maybe I still enjoy my time in water. So maybe after the summer I will start thinking seriously.
Okay, that's great to hear. Thanks a lot, Isaac. We wish you all the best for whatever you do next, swimming or back to trail running, or maybe try to beat your road marathon, maybe even more. Take care of yourself, like everybody else, and see you soon.
Okay, thanks, Chris. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
That was Isaac Yuan Wan Ho from Hong Kong. And as such, we have come to the conclusion of this episode of The Tale of the Trail. We remember the uncertainty that has arisen around Korea 50K. Unfortunately, Jae-jang could not talk to us herself directly because apparently it's a very big traffic jam in Seoul. Seoul has been hit by a new increase in infections, so we have to wait and see what happens. A decision will be made by the end of this month. A decision on Ijen Trail in Indonesia is also expected to come by the middle of June. On the other hand, one event has already been postponed, but it's a postponement with a silver lining in the context of the Asia Trail Master Championship. Borneo TMBT Ultra will move from the end of August to 19-20 December, and as such becomes the final race of the 2020 Asia Trail Master season. This is hot off the press, ladies and gentlemen, so bear with us. You can expect a lot more detailed communication on this in the upcoming days and weeks. Also, we have quite a few cancellations by now on our ATM calendar until at least mid-September. That is 4 months from now. So we will be looking at amending the regulations for both the ATM Championship and the Grandmaster Quest before the end of May as well. As you all know, we already extended the Grandmaster time requirement by 2 months earlier this season. And of course, we will extend this period even more given the current context. In terms of the championship, Hisashi Kitamura and the trio of Fredelin Alberto, Charlotte Take, and Amy Sproston are leading the male and female rankings respectively. So stay tuned for more updates on all that before the end of May, and make sure to watch our next episode of The Tale of the Trail in roughly 2 weeks' time. Thank you very much for watching. Stay safe and happy. Enjoy your weekend, and see you soon.